Hey, thanks for joining me. My name is Sonia Lee, and I'd like to introduce you to mindfulness today. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, be aware of where you are and what you're doing, and not be overwhelmed or reactive by what's going on around you. While mindfulness is something we all naturally possess, it's more readily available to us when we practice it on a daily basis. Whenever you bring awareness to what you're directly experiencing via your senses, or to your state of mind via thoughts and emotions, you're being mindful. And there's growing research showing that when you train your brain to be more mindful, you're actually remodeling the physical structure of your brain. So then, you're probably wondering, well, what's meditation? So meditation is exploring. It's actually not about a fixed destination. Your head doesn't automatically become free of thoughts, totally undistracted. It's a special place where each and every moment is monumentous. And when we meditate, we venture into the workings of our minds, our sensations, such as air blowing on your skin, or maybe a really disgusting smell wafting into your room, or emotions. Love this, hate that, crave this, loathe that. And then there's thoughts. Wouldn't it be weird to see an elephant playing a trumpet? So, mindfulness meditation invites us to suspend judgment and unleash our natural curiosity about the workings of the mind, approaching our experience with warmth and kindness to ourselves and others. So, in a sense, mindfulness is being aware of what's happening to our senses, and meditation is the practice of being aware of our senses and calming them down, right? So being in control of what it is that you experience. So now you're probably wondering, well, how does mindfulness and meditation work? Great question. Mindfulness is available to us in every moment, whether through meditations or body scans or mindful moment practices like taking time to pause and breathe when the phone rings instead of rushing over to answer it. All right, so you're probably wondering, well, how does this work? Although the traditions of current mindfulness programs are rooted in Eastern meditation, contemporary mindfulness meditation practices do not necessarily have to align with a religion, nor is it identical to meditation. See, mindfulness programs might utilize meditation techniques in addition to other ways to practice mindfulness along the way, but they can include various different forms. So, for example, you might do breathing exercises, and this can be done however you want to do it by listening to an instructor or an audio guide of a breathing exercise. So, unlike normal breathing, which is automatic, this mindful technique encourages you to be present in the moment and focus only on inhaling and exhaling air in and out of the lungs. So these breathing exercises usually lead to a healthier default of deeper and slower breaths. Then there's a body scan, which is simply noticing each part of the body without judgment. It can be done sitting or lying down and helps with awareness of each part of the body and how it feels at the moment. There's also imagery exercises, which help you kind of picture a calm place for relaxation. So this technique also calls for visualization and focuses on the positive mental image to replace negative thoughts and feelings. Then there's progressive muscle relaxation, including tensing and relaxing different muscle groups of the body to decrease physical tension in the muscles. The tensing and releasing encourages letting go of physical stress. There's yoga, tai chi, and other physical activities that help focus on the body, and current movements offer a physical focus on the meditation. So they offer physical benefits as well as mental relaxation. Then there's mindful eating, which promotes taking your time to slow down and enjoy food using all of the senses. And this can encourage feelings of gratefulness, fullness, and greater enjoyment of food. So all of these practices can be done on an individual basis, but sometimes it's helpful to take a class or a mindfulness program, read a book, or watch a video for guidance and suggestions. Mindfulness programs often use a variety as well as combination of techniques and exercises during mindful practices. Okay, so we've gone through a couple of different ways you can practice mindfulness. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the benefits, right? So mindfulness involves focusing your awareness on a present moment. And we're going to be paying attention to your sensations, feelings, thoughts, the environment in the here and now with a total attitude of acceptance. And this is hard, right? Because the mind always has some chatter. It's going to squirrel off into a different direction, but it's the attitude of acceptance. So what are the benefits? Well, it includes lowering stress, decreasing depression, improving memory, strengthening relationships, and a multitude of other things. So before I go on to the benefits, I want to share that there was a large-scale review of more than 400 previous studies, and mindfulness was identified as an effective mental health practice for helping almost all people improve their physical and psychological well-being. The article discusses the many benefits of mindfulness, as well as some things you should consider before you decide if mindfulness-based practices are right for you. Okay, so let's talk about how mindfulness can help decrease depression. Reduced depression is one of the most important benefits of mindfulness. It can help relieve symptoms of depression and may help prevent these symptoms from returning in a future date. Mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, is a type of therapy that incorporates CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, with mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR. It is a relatively brief therapy, taking over 8 weeks utilizing group sessions that incorporate mindfulness practices. In addition, these practices incorporate other activities such as meditation, body scan exercise, maybe even yoga to help people focus on becoming more aware and accepting of their own thoughts. Another potential benefit of mindfulness is that the practice may help you identify and manage your feelings. Emotional regulation refers to your ability to exert control over your own emotions. This means being able to both enhance or rein in emotions depending on the situation and need. The ability can play an important role in mental well-being and difficulties managing emotions that are linked to a number of conditions, including depressions or borderline personality disorder. Research has found that mindfulness-based practices can be helpful for enhancing emotional regulation skills. Neuroimaging studies suggest that mindfulness training actually alters areas of the brain that are activated and deactivated in response to emotion-inducing stimuli. The emotional regulation benefits of mindfulness can make it easier to cope with your feelings, which can ultimately improve many areas of your life, including your relationships and well-being. Okay, so let's talk about chronic stress. Stress is a really big problem for a lot of people, and it can contribute to a variety of health problems, including an increased risk of depression and anxiety. So, according to the American Psychological Association, mindfulness can help for soothing feelings of anxiety and stress. That said, mindfulness might not be the best tactic for reducing stress, especially if you're in a moment of crisis. One study found that using mindfulness tactics when coping with a stressful event had no impact on how people responded to the event. So, in times of crisis, proven strategies such as deep breathing are often more effective, while mindfulness might be best used as you reflect back on the event once it's over. Let's also talk about how it can boost your memory. If you've ever forgotten an important meeting or maybe misplaced your car keys, then you know that even simple everyday memory problems can be a major hassle. Many of these moments of forgetfulness are caused by something known as proactive interference, where older memories interfere with your ability to access new ones. There was a study in 2019 that showed that after 4 weeks of mindfulness training, or if a participant took a creative writing course, memory tests showed that those who had been trained in mindfulness practices showed the greatest reduction in proactive interference, which basically says it resulted in improvements in their short-term memory. Now, participants didn't just show improvements in memory performance, they also demonstrated changes in their brains. Brain imaging also showed that participants in the mindfulness training program experienced volume changes in their hippocampus, which is an area of the brain associated with memory. Okay, so it gets even better. Mindfulness actually plays a role in your ability to think flexibly and clearly. It makes sense that the practice of mindfulness can change your thinking. After all, the practice is about learning to be more aware of your thoughts without imposing judgments on them. Now, there are a number of important cognitive abilities involved in mindfulness. It includes being able to focus your attention for a period of time, being able to shift your thoughts and attention in spite of the distractions around you, and also suppressing other thoughts that interfere with focus. So just think of this. Your cognitive abilities are really important for a variety of everyday tasks. They allow you to think quickly and adapt to changing information, and such skills also help you switch from one task to another with ease and make it easier to concentrate on tasks and solve problems more efficiently. There's also emerging evidence that practicing mindfulness may have a positive impact on your interpersonal relationships. A study in 2018 found that people who were more mindful also tended to be more accepting of their partner's flaws and imperfections. And people who are more accepting of their partners also were more satisfied in their relationships. So instead of focusing on their partner's flaws and trying to change them, mindfulness made it easier to accept that their partner is not always perfect. Okay, so what about physical health? Well, research shows that mindfulness can help relieve symptoms of a range of different health conditions. It's been proved and linked to improvements in lower back pain, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, type 2 diabetes, and even fibromyalgia. So because mindfulness can improve mood and combat stress, it can also be helpful for people who are dealing with chronic illness. I've shared a couple of different benefits. So when should you use caution? Any type of self-reflective inner work has the potential to bring difficult thoughts or feelings to light. And this can be true if you have a history of trauma or if you've been diagnosed with a condition such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or even complex PTSD. There are a few guidelines regarding the potential side effects or situations where caution should be used. Researchers have showed instances where participants have experienced distressing adverse effects when practicing mindfulness and meditation that were serious enough to require additional treatment. One study found that around 6% of participants who practice mindfulness experienced side effects that include increased anxiety, dissociation, social withdrawal, and emotional numbness. However, the authors of that study also note that these effects were also accompanied by significant improvements to symptoms of depression. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try mindfulness. Instead, it simply means that you should use caution and be aware that it is not a replacement for immediate well-being. Mindfulness and other inner work practices may make you feel worse before you start to feel better. Focusing deeply on your inner self can trigger uncomfortable or even distressing feelings, so you should be aware of this potential and have emotional tools you can use to help cope with such experiences. Okay. So there are so many benefits of mindfulness, including lowering stress, improving emotional regulation, boosting cognitive abilities, and strengthening relationships. Mindfulness can lead to changes in the structure and function of your brain. Adverse side effects can occur in some cases, so you should consider talking to your doctor or therapist before deciding if mindfulness is right for you. I hope you found this information helpful. Mindfulness is not a one-size-fits-all approach to well-being, but it can be a very powerful tool with a wide range of benefits, but that doesn't mean it's right for everyone. There are guides, apps, programs, and other tools that can help you get started if you're interested in trying it. But if you're nervous, talk to your therapist about it and see what your options are. Again, I hope this was helpful. My name is Sonia Lee, and thank you for listening.